Welcome to LNN News. I'm Carolyn Day Pruitt. Here are this week's top stories. Dinwiddie officials released more details on the chemistry lab accident that injured 5 last week. JLARC released the results of its look into the economic feasibility of a Petersburg casino. 2 fatal crashes leave 2 women dead in Prince George. And the Tri-Cities celebrated heritage and wine this past weekend. Those stories and more when we return after this.
Warning, these products contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The Vape Guys is where you'll find hundreds of e-liquids and a huge selection from salt nic options and disposables to hemp-based products and detox. The Vape Guys make you the star with their loyalty program, superior service, unrivaled selection, and the passion for vaping you deserve. The Vape Guys, 536 South Park Boulevard, Colonial Heights.
Hourglass Realty Group.
Opening the door to your next journey.
Welcome back to the LNN studio. First, let's take a look at state news. On Friday, October 14th, Governor Youngkin announced that he plans to propose a new fund during the upcoming 2023 General Assembly session. If approved, that proposal would set aside $10 million in the Commonwealth's budget as the Virginia Power Innovation Fund. Innovation in the area of energy is a key component of the 2022 Virginia Energy Plan, which Governor Youngkin describes as an all-of-the-above approach to providing energy to Virginians. The plan calls for exploration, development, and utilization of all potential forms of energy in an effort to meet Virginia's energy needs. The monies in the fund would support research and development for nuclear and hydrogen energy sources, but the VPIF would also address energy storage issues and current emissions through storage battery development and carbon capture. Half of the proposed $10 million fund would be earmarked for nuclear research and development through the Virginia Nuclear Innovation Hub and fund grants for higher education institutions to study small modular nuclear reactor, or SMR technology, fund nuclear workforce development, and provide additional money for SMR site exploration. Operation Bold Blue Line was unveiled on Monday, October 17th in an effort by the Youngkin administration to address public safety and police staffing issues across the Commonwealth. Governor Youngkin, Lieutenant Governor Sears, and Attorney General Miyares stood with law enforcement representatives from throughout the state to announce the series of actions designed to reduce violent crime, homicides, and shootings. The Youngkin administration has conducted 14 violent crime task force meetings throughout the Commonwealth, working with communities and local leaders to paint a clearer picture of crime in Virginia, as well as best practices to address it. According to the administration, Operation Bold Blue Line is comprised of 5 areas of focus: supporting existing law enforcement by fixing pay and wage compression, supporting new law enforcement with a comprehensive recruiting effort to attract law enforcement from other states and develop homegrown talent, providing more support for all law enforcement, including more training and equipment, ensuring law enforcement is backed up by prosecutors that can and will put and keep violent offenders behind bars, and providing additional resources to victims and witnesses, and funding community partnerships to help stop violent crime before it happens. To achieve these goals, the new operation calls for an investment of $13 million for group violence intervention programs across the next 2 years, $30 million for recruitment efforts targeting potential new law enforcement officers both in Virginia and across the country, an accelerated disbursement of $75 million for equipment and training for state and local law enforcement agencies. The operation also calls for a number of new innovative initiatives aimed to address aspects of law enforcement, such as streamlined training programs and improving LEO's access to both physical and mental health care. On the other side of the coin, it will address crime-related issues such as at-risk youth intervention, gang prevention, and victim and witness assistant programs. We'll be back with local news after this.
The most rewarding part of my day would be seeing the residents putting a smile on their faces, especially if I have family members come up to me and say, "Oh, my loved one, they said they did this with you and they loved it," and that just makes me feel like I'm making a difference in their lives. My name is Chrissy Roth. I'm the Memory Care Activities Coordinator at Dunlop House. We definitely make a difference in the lives of our residents, and I would encourage anyone to come to Dunlop House and see what we're all about. Dunlop House, more than a house, it's home.
Colonial Plumbing, Heating, and Air offers service with a smile. They're a family-owned and operated service company located in Colonial Heights. Their hand-picked team is dedicated to delivering top-rated service with a satisfaction guarantee.
We're different from the status quo. Our people, our service, our products. They're revolutionary.
Today's show is brought to you by our friends at the Cloud Factory, who take a customized approach to their customers. They know not everyone is alike, and neither are their needs. So, the Cloud Factory focuses on what's best for you when it comes to CBD, hemp-based products, vapor nicotine, glassware, and just about anything, providing alternative routes to a healthier you.
Welcome back. Dinwiddie officials held a press conference the afternoon of Wednesday, October 19th, to address the chemistry classroom incident that injured 4 students and a teacher last week. LNN's Chai Gallahan has the details.
We are here at the Dinwiddie County Safety Building, where they're about to hold a press conference concerning the explosion and/or fire that occurred at the high school last week.
3 of our young people were transported. All did receive very severe burns. 2 of the students have been released from the hospital. We're very excited about that. 1 is still in the hospital, and we do expect that student to be in the hospital for some time. All of these young people are amazing, but they have a very, very long recovery ahead of them.
The investigations determined that the incident occurred during a flammable liquid demonstration. The teacher was located at the front of the room at an open-top desk. There were 19 students present in the classroom. That demonstration involved placing methanol in an open-top beaker with water and igniting it using a smoldering wooden splint. The methanol was being poured into the same beaker that had been used to perform the previous demonstration when the fire occurred. As the methanol was poured, the methanol vapor at the bottle opening caused a phenomenon known as flame jetting. Okay. Flame jetting has caused a large amount of the methanol to be rapidly emitted from the bottle and ignite. This fire traveled diagonally across the front of the classroom, approximately 10 feet. The ignition source for that fire is believed to be the methanol that was still burning in the beaker from the first demonstration. If you know anything about methanol, it burns with a very pale blue flame, would have been probably pretty much invisible in the classroom lighting. So when we arrived, the fire was out.
Do you know what determined the direction of the fire, of the flame jet?
The direction of the fire was determined by the orientation of the bottle.
Did it just fall? Is that what happened?
As he was pouring.
As he was pouring?
Okay. It just traveled in that direction of where the open top was. And so
the 4 students who were injured were all directly in the path of fire that would have traveled from the mouth of the jug to the wall in a straight line. All 4 injuries were in that path.
Reporting from Dinwiddie, this is Chai Gallahan for LNN.
On Monday morning, October 17th, Petersburg officials gathered in a committee room in Richmond to hear the outcome of the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission's study into the economic feasibility of a Petersburg casino. Senator Joe Morrissey, Delegate Kim Taylor, Petersburg Mayor Sam Parham, and Ward 5 Councilor Howard Myers were seated in the audience as a JLARC representative outlined the main points from the Commission's report and compared the concepts of a single Petersburg casino, a single Richmond casino, and 2 casinos, one in Petersburg and one in Richmond. The overall result of the study is support for the feasibility of a Petersburg casino, meaning that Petersburg can move forward in the process of getting approval for a gaming license from the General Assembly and later holding a ballot referendum on the matter. JLARC calculated that a Petersburg casino would increase the city's tax revenue by 35%. But with the possibility of Richmond holding another referendum for the possibility of its own casino, some senators questioned the impact of potentially having 2 casinos so close together.
And with Petersburg being so close to Richmond, then would it benefit Virginia to have less than, well, I can drive in half an hour if traffic's right. But with 2 being so close together like that, how would that benefit the state of Virginia with them 2? Because it'd be feeding off one another. So all you're doing, you're going to lessen Petersburg because of Richmond. So why would we need Richmond that had the opportunity before? And now Petersburg's on that we like. And then you got Richmond coming back. So why would we want to have one in Richmond now that we got Petersburg coming online? And
that's a great question, Senator. We asked the Innovation Group to analyze the sustainability, the feasibility of having both a Richmond and a Petersburg casino, because Richmond is currently allowed to have a casino in state law, and we understand there is potentially an interest in holding another referendum. I think to your point, in terms of how close those two casinos are to each other, they are quite close in terms of what was modeled. What the analysis shows is that both are sustainable. There would be, I guess, a negative impact to the city of Petersburg from a Richmond casino, just in the sense that the amount of local taxes that a Petersburg casino would generate if Richmond were also there is lower than it otherwise would be. Why you would want to have two, I think that is a policy question for the members. But overall, there is a positive dollar impact, both in terms of net gaming revenue and in state taxes and local taxes, whether you're looking at just one Petersburg casino or a Petersburg and a Richmond casino.
Prince George was the scene of two crashes only days apart last week, leaving 2 people dead. The first occurred at approximately 10:41 a.m. on Thursday, October 13th, when a tractor-trailer and a Toyota Camry collided at the intersection of West Quaker Road and Wells Station Road. Officers determined that the sedan was traveling northbound on West Quaker Road when it collided with the tractor-trailer traveling eastbound on Wells Station Road. The driver of the Camry, identified as Christina Bouzadoun, age 37, of Prince George County, suffered fatal injuries in the crash and was pronounced deceased at the scene. The passenger, a child, was properly secured in a car seat and sustained no injuries, but was transported to Southside Regional Medical Center for evaluation. The operator of the tractor-trailer, Marius Laszlo, age 33, of Lawrenceville, Georgia, was arrested. Laszlo was charged with involuntary manslaughter and is currently being held at Riverside Regional Jail. He suffered no injuries in the accident. Just 3 days later, another vehicle accident resulted in the death of a Hopewell woman. On Sunday, October 16th at 7:01 p.m., Prince George County Police Department responded to a single vehicle crash in the 10,000 block of Prince George Drive. Officers determined that a Jeep Liberty was traveling northbound on Prince George Drive when the driver veered off the right side of the road, overcorrected, and then traveled across the opposite side of the road, striking a tree. The operator of the Jeep, Deanna Elliott, age 23, of Hopewell, suffered fatal injuries in the crash and was pronounced deceased at the scene. She was not wearing a seatbelt. Both investigations are ongoing. Anyone that witnessed either incident or anyone with information related to the crashes is requested to contact the Prince George Police Department at 804-733-2773. 2 of the Tri-Cities are cleaning up for the fall. The City of Hopewell's Fall Community Cleanup is currently underway, running through this Saturday, October 22nd. Citizens are encouraged to participate in this effort by cleaning around their homes and along their streets. During this week, Hopewell residents may dispose of trash at no charge at the Citizen Convenience Center located at 507 Station Street behind Fire Station 1. There will be the usual $10 fee for the removal of Freon to dispose of appliances, and certain items will not be accepted, including paint, concrete, hazardous materials, and batteries. Petersburg will be kicking off its fall cleanup at 8 a.m. this Saturday, October 22nd. The event will run until noon that day, when residents will have the opportunity to dispose of certain items for free at 6 locations throughout the city. Those Petersburg cleanup sites will accept appliances, furniture, household trash, and carpet, among other items. Like Hopewell, certain items such as hazardous waste, batteries, and paint will not be accepted. The Petersburg disposal sites are Cool Spring Elementary School, Pleasance Lane, Peabody Middle School, the Pittman Annex Parking Lot, Blandford School, and Legends Park. We'll be back with more after this.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sandy Elba.
And I'm Dr. Adam Elba.
We're chiropractors, and we love what we do.
We change lives on a regular basis. We go from pain relief all the way to wellness. We work with the cause of the problem, we help solve the problem, and put your life on a whole different path.
If you're concerned about your health in any way, or you just want to be healthier all the way around, come see us, Chester Family Chiropractic Center.
I love being at home. I mean, you do get a lot done. For instance, I just got pre-qualified for a home loan online with BSV. So be a homebody. Visit bsvnet.com to see what you qualify for.
It's time you heard the best fried chicken doesn't come out of a bucket or a box. You'll find it fresh out of the deep fryers at Breeze Inn. Virginia's finest chicken. Succulent, juicy chicken with a crispy coating. Hungry for more? Try our pulled pork barbecue, real Philly cheesesteaks, and mouth-watering burgers. Home to Virginia's finest chicken. And oh yeah, we've got a convenience store too.
Welcome back. 2022 saw a long-established Petersburg event in a new location, the Old Town Harbor Festival Park. Over 3,500 people attended this year's Grapes and Hops on Saturday, October 15th. Attendees experienced live performances from the main stage, a large selection of craft vendors, over 15 food trucks, and of course a large selection of Virginia's finest craft beers and locally owned wineries. The festival encouraged attendees to enjoy the sights and sounds of Old Town Petersburg with free re-entry. The event lasted from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., with many remaining late into the day. The 2022 Festival of Grapes and Hops was presented by Bon Secours and the SOVA Chamber. SOVA Executive Director John Brandt spoke about the event and expectations for next year.
The last 3 years have been kind of hard due to the fact that it was COVID had happened. So this year we decided to bring it back full force. We had 3 full bands. We had Sammy Lee, we had the Chocolate Factory from Northern Virginia. We also had Bombshell. We had over 15 food trucks. We had 60 or so vendors, and we had 20 or so wineries, cideries, meaderies, and brewers.
Plans for next year?
Absolutely, we'll be back next year. 15th is going to be bigger, better. We'll have more wineries, more breweries, more cideries, and it's going to be great for everybody.
When I'm with you, I can't breathe. Boy, you do something to...
Saturday was also a day of celebration in Prince George. The county hosted its traditional Czech-Slovak festival, and LNN's own Chai Gallahan was in attendance.
Hosted by the Prince George County Regional Heritage Center last Saturday, October 15th, the popular Czech and Slovak Folklife Festival celebrated the history of Czech and Slovakian immigrants who journeyed to the county just after Civil War reconstruction. People knew they were nearing the festival when they heard the energetic cultural Czech and Slovakian music. They knew they were getting very close when the fragrance of goulash, kielbasa sausages, and cabbage rolls, along with a tantalizing aroma of baked treats, ignited their olfactory senses. And finally, people knew they were there when all of the sights, sounds, and sensations of the festival met them in earnest. There was much history to be learned as well, with displays in the Czech and Slovak gallery inside and the farming instruments and techniques displays outside, including a petting zoo for the kids. While the food, music, and polka dancing may nourish the body and spirit, the rich cultural history may indeed nourish the mind, providing a context for many of the people who came here from Eastern Europe in order to create, fashion, and forge better lives for themselves and their families, all the while seeking to contribute to the region and its existing communities. Reporting from Prince George, this is Chai Gallahan for LNN.
There are several events area residents can enjoy this coming weekend. On Saturday, October 22nd, Richard Bland College will host its 6th annual Pecan Festival in the campus Pecan Grove. The event will take place from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and feature numerous vendors and displays under the canopy of pecan trees. Old Town Petersburg will host the Acoma de Gado Dance and Drum Performance Ensemble this coming weekend. On Sunday, October 23rd, the African Dance and Drum Troupe will perform at the Appomattox Event Center from 4 to 6 p.m. The event is open to the public. Tickets are $5, with children aged 15 and under for free. The Event Center is located at 9 West Old Street in downtown Petersburg. For these stories and more, check out this week's edition of the LNN Insider Digital News Magazine. Subscribe by going to LNNusa.com and clicking on the subscribe button at the top of the page. We'll be back with sports and weather in a moment.
Bopper's Malt Shop, the niftiest place in Petersburg. Ice cream, candy, foot-long hot dogs, burgers, and now introducing the Bopper Blast, a hand-dipped vanilla shake with a blast of candy. Available in over 15 flavors. Bopper's Malt Shop, Old Town Petersburg.
Yes, you can still get haircuts, colors, highlights, waxing services, everything that's going to make you look great right here at the Apothic Company.
Next, we go to G. Anadipe for the sports update.
Our NFL power rankings are in. Coming in at number 1 are the undefeated 6-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, the 5-1 Buffalo Bills. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, the Minnesota Vikings. And sneaking in are the New York Giants, taking a number 5 spot away from the Dallas Cowboys. Now, speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott has officially been medically cleared to play for Week 7. Now, if you remember correctly, back in Week 1, Dak Prescott sustained an injury to his thumb on his throwing arm. Now, since then, Cooper Rush has stepped up as the backup quarterback, throwing for 5 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards, leading the Cowboys to a 4-0 run just before losing last week to the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. Now, some may say that the Cowboys may be just a little better without Dak Prescott, but only time will tell. Now, over to the NBA. The season is finally kicked off with the Celtics taking on the 76ers, beating them 117 to 126. Now, the Lakers also played on opening night against the Warriors, and guess what? They lost again, 109 to 123. Also making his debut this year was Ben Simmons for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, over a year ago, he was traded from the 76ers. Since then, he has not played a single game due to back injury, back surgery, and some psychological issues. Now, how did Ben do on his opening night, may you ask? Well, he sucked. Only scoring 4 points, missing all of his free throws, and fouling out of the game with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Do you think this is a good bet for Ben Simmons? Probably not. But I'm just an anchor man. If you're watching on YouTube, leave your comments below. Anyway, that's it for sports. Back to you, Cameron Day.
Thanks, G. And now we go to Chai, the weather guy, Gallahan. Chai, are we going to stay cool this weekend?
Friday kicks off the weekend with lots of sun and a high of 66 and a slight southwest wind. The evening changes the direction of the breeze to southeast and a low of 39. Saturday and Sunday temperatures are nearly the same with highs in the 60s and lows around 50. However, Saturday evening brings in the clouds with a 20% chance of rain, and Sunday skies are mostly cloudy. Monday through Wednesday, warm it up and bring out the sun with highs in the low 70s and lows in the 50s. So take that opportunity to go on a hike in the early mornings or a warmer afternoon stroll, but maybe wear a jacket and some gloves or a hat just in case. Back to you, Carolyn Day.
Thanks, Chai. That's it for this week's newscast. We'll see you next Thursday for the latest local news. Don't forget that voting is happening now for the 2022 Best of the Best, so be sure to cast your votes. And be sure to follow LNN USA on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching LNN, News by the People, for the People.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Day Pruitt.
And I'm Chai Gallahan.
Major media companies have editorialized reporting and called it news. The free press was never designed to be journalistic interpretation of the facts. LNN USA is committed to reporting facts about issues important to you, but the free press is anything but free.
LNN USA exists to serve our fellow citizens. As a locally owned and operated digital news network, we forego the expensive printing presses, costly production plants, and corporate overhead. Your membership dollars are primarily used to pay local reporters to cover local news. Reporters dedicated to investigative news and features that matter. To do that, we need your support.
Become a member, and you'll receive the LNN Insider Weekly Email, a 40-page magazine packed full of news and features you won't find anywhere else. Membership also includes full access to LNN News broadcast archives, LNN Insider magazine archives, extended interview clips not aired in the weekly broadcasts, and more.
Your membership supports local independent reporting free from corporate and political pressure and agendas. Become an LNN member today by going to LNNusa.com and clicking on the subscribe button at the top of the page.